Hey everyone, welcome to another yoga class. My name is Emily and today I have for you a power yoga flow that will be an upper body burner. We are going to work out and fatigue the shoulders, the chest, the back, the arms, everything. Everything's gonna get a good workout. So you'll need no other equipment, but when you are ready, just meet me on the mat. All right, so we're all gonna meet in our tabletop position. So wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath of hips. And we'll just start with a little bit of a wrist warm up. So start to take your chest out in circles over top of the fingertips. If this already feels like a bit too much, just walk your knees a little bit closer to the backs, the heel of your hand to lighten up through the hands just a little bit. All right, switch directions of that circle. And then come back through center, tuck your toes under, sit your hips to your heels, interlace your fingers to make one big fist, and then just find some figure eights or some circles with your wrists. Right, always really important to warm up your wrists before you do any weight bearing. Your wrists are like any other part of the body, right? If you don't work it out, you don't stretch it, then you're likely to experience some soreness and fatigue, right? So make sure you take care of your wrists, okay? Give everything a bit of a shake. And then we'll come to our child's pose. So your knees will be either together or maybe, about hip width apart. Bring your toe mounds to touch and then just rest your hips towards your heels. Reach your arms forward. And take a big breath in and let it go. If the forehead comes down to the mat, maybe just rock it side to side. Relax through the face. And take a big breath in and let it go. So remember, this position will be returning to it, but look up. So lift the head up, look in between the hands, and maybe reach the hands just a little bit more forward. So we're really stretching out here. Then we're going to press into the hands, lift all the way up, come through our tabletop, but keep going so that we come to more of this knees down plank. Right, so we want a straight line from the crown of our head, down our shoulders, to our hips, and then to our knees, right? So we're not letting our hips sink to the floor, but we're also not kind of piking the butt up towards the ceiling, right? We've got this nice flat line. Okay, so from here, we're gonna bend the elbows, lower down halfway, Chaturanga. Lift back up, and then shift the hips back, child's pose. So we're gonna do that 5 more times. So shift forward, lower down halfway, press back up, child's pose. 4 more times, lower down halfway, chaturanga, lift back up, child's pose, right? Keep the belly engaged, keep that nice flat line. 2 more. And then last one, lower down halfway, chaturanga, lift up. This time tuck the toes under and come to your downward facing dog. So when you first come to downward facing dog, maybe you find a little bit of movement. You could pedal out the legs, bending one knee then the other. And just kind of move in a way that feels good, waking up the body, becoming really present to what is going on in the body. But then find some stillness. So your feet are about hip distance apart. Your knees can always be bent. And then press your hands down and forward to press your chest back towards your thighs, right? Send your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Think lots of length through your spine. And take a big breath in. Breath out. Then inhale forward to your plank pose. And stay here for a moment. So again, we're looking for that nice flat line from the crown of our head out through our heels. So we want our hips to be a little bit lifted, right? Again, we don't want our butt up in the air, but we also don't want to be sinking our hips down to the ground. So hug your belly button in, engage the core, and then lift up, press the ground away from you. Okay, so I'm going to lead you through what I'm going to call a pop to chaturanga, which we're going to do a few times. So here we are. You can always modify by putting the knees down. I'll show that in a moment.
But otherwise, we're going to shift forward so the shoulders come over the fingertips. Bend the elbows, lower down halfway, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. So we'll come to the tops of the feet, roll the shoulders back and down. Now, here's where we pop to Chaturanga. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop the butt up a little bit, right? Hug the core in, tuck the toes back under, and find yourselves right back in Chaturanga. I'll show you. Okay, so take a big breath in, and then on your breath out, Chaturanga. Press back up, plank pose, and then downward facing dog. Okay, we're gonna do that 3 more times. I'm gonna show you really quick how maybe you might modify, right? If you're not feeling like you're quite ready for that, then what we'll do is shift forward plank pose, lower the knees down, lower down Chaturanga, upward facing dog, just lower the knees back down, Chaturanga again, press back up, and we'll meet back in downward facing dog, right? Always okay to modify that way. Otherwise, here we go. We're gonna go through 3 full times. Stick with me, we got this. Okay, inhale forward to plank. Lower down halfway, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Chaturanga pop. Back up to plank. Downward facing dog. 2 more times. Forward to plank. Lower down halfway. Upward facing dog. Pop to Chaturanga. Plank, press up. Downward facing dog. We can do this. We've got 1 more. Okay, inhale, forward plank. Lower down halfway. Upward facing dog. Pop to Chaturanga. Press up to plank. Downward facing dog. All right, take a big breath in. Breath out. We might see that a few more times throughout our practice. All right, so bend the knees, look in between the hands. Step or hop the feet forward. And just hang in your forward fold. Right, so feet about hip distance apart, knees can be bent, belly rests on the thighs, let the head hang heavy. And then grab opposite elbows and just find a sway side to side. Then bring the fingertips down to the mat. Inhale to your flat back. Length through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold back down. Then inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center. Just stay for a moment. Feel what's going on in the body. And take a big breath in. Sigh it out. Okay, so if you've taken my classes before, especially my power classes, then you know I like to build a sequence over several rounds. So that's what we'll be doing today. We will start with just a pose or 2 on one side, then we'll repeat on the other. And then the next round, we will add a pose or 2, right? So we'll continue to see the same poses again, but we will build to our full flow, okay? So, cool. We'll make our way to our flow, right? So inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to your flat back. And then step or hop the feet back to our plank or our Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a big breath in and then let it go. Okay, so we're going to start building our flow. So place your left foot a little bit more in the center of the mat, and then inhale, sweep that right leg back behind you. 3-legged dog. Keep the right hip nice and square to the mat, so the pinky toe points down just like the big toe does. Stay here. You can always have a slight bend in that left knee, but that right leg is really strong. Then take a big breath in. On your breath out, bring your right knee to your left elbow or tricep. Hold it for just a moment. And then straighten through that right leg. Extend that right foot out. So we're looking for the right foot being about in line with your hands. Then we'll spin to the inner edge of the left foot, the back foot, and the outer edge of that right foot. Plant that right hand, reach the left arm up, lift the hips. So we're pressing into the feet in that right hand to lift the hips up, reach the left arm up, fallen triangle. So the first time we see a pose, we'll hold it for a few breaths, right? All rounds after that, we'll go a little bit faster. Lift the hips, take a big breath in. And then on your breath out, bring that left hand down to the mat. We're sweeping that right leg all the way back to that three-legged dog. Once again, reach that right leg back behind you. And then bring the right foot down. Downward facing dog. Okay, round one. We've learned our first few poses here. So let's do that on the other side. Put the right foot a little bit more in the center of the mat. Inhale, reach the left leg back behind you. Three-legged dog. Hips are square. Left pinky toe points down. Maybe a slight bend in the right knee, but that left leg, you're sending lots of energy out through that left heel. Take a big breath in. Breath out, left knee to right elbow. Hold it for a moment. And then extend that left foot out to the side, right? In line-ish with the hands. Roll to the inner edge of the back foot, that right foot. Press into the feet, press into the left hand, reach the right arm up. The hips will press up. Right? Lots of engagement through that left side body. Press, 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 strong through the legs, strong through the core. Take a big breath in, and then breath out. Bring the right hand down. Sweep that left leg all the way back behind you. Once again, three-legged dog. And then bring the left foot down. Downward facing dog. Okay, take a big breath in. Breath out. We're just gonna add on to our flow, right? So you know the first few poses. Inhale, sweep the right leg back, three-legged dog. And then exhale, knee to elbow, left elbow. Extend the right foot out. Inhale, lift up, fallen triangle. Lift the hips up, press into the feet. Press into that right hand. Then bring the left foot down, or left hand down. Sweep the right leg back, three-legged dog once again. This time, step the right foot in between the hands. Crescent lunge legs. Stay here for a moment, right? So the right knee is over the right ankle. The left heel is up in the back. And then engage so much through the legs that you can lift and hover the fingertips. All right, then inhale, sweep the arms up, crescent lunge. And then just stay. Feel the legs start to work. They're gonna get their fair share of working as well. Then cactus the arms, lift the heart, find a bit of a back bend. Take a big breath in. On your breath out, reach the arms out in front of you. Lean out over that right leg. We're gonna do all that again. So inhale, pull the elbows back, lift the heart. Exhale, reach towards the front of the room. This time on your inhale, open up to warrior two. So the left foot comes down in the back, parallel-ish to the back of the mat. Right knee still over the right ankle, so we're still bending into that knee. Arms are sweeping out towards the sides. Calm the breath. Maybe calm the mind. Then inhale, reverse your warrior. Right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Find lots of length through the right side body. We're still bending into the right knee. Then take a big breath in. On your breath out, windmill the hands down to the mat. Step the right foot back, plank pose. While we're here, let's do one of those Chaturanga Pops. So lower down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Pop back to Chaturanga. Press up, plank. Downward facing dog. Whew, take a big breath in. Sigh it out. Let's do all that on the other side. Inhale, three-legged dog. Lift the left leg back behind you. And then knee to elbow, opposite elbow. Extend the left foot out. Then inhale, reach the right arm up, lift the hips, fallen triangle. Then bring that right hand down, sweep that left leg back, three-legged dog once again. Step the left foot forward, crescent lunge legs, but let's take the time to set this one up, right? Left knee over left ankle, right heel up in the back. Core engages, legs are firm. Lift the fingertips off of the ground. Just dangle here for a moment. And then inhale to rise up, crescent lunge. That right leg, the back leg, is straightish, right? You're pressing it as straight as it can go, so you're getting that big stretch, but it's also really strong here. Then cactus your arms to the side, lift the heart. Take a big breath in. Then breath out, reach towards the front of the mat. Lean out over that left leg. One more time. Inhale, open up. Exhale, reach. And this time, inhale, open up to that warrior two. Right foot comes down parallel to the back of the mat. Left knee bends. Arms sweep out. Bend the knee a little bit more. Let that left leg shake. Then inhale, reverse your warrior. Left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Plug the fingertips up into the ceiling. Find that length. Slow, smooth breaths. Take a big breath in, and then breath out. Windmill the hands down. Step that left foot back. While we're here, perhaps a pop to chaturanga, right? Lower down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Pop to chaturanga. Press up plank. Downward facing dog. Whew. Okay. Pardon me. So we're going to keep adding on. You know about where we're going, right? So inhale, reach that right leg back behind you, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to opposite elbow. Extend the right foot out. Lift up to that fallen triangle. Left arm reaches up. And then left hand down. Right leg back. Three-legged dog once again. Big breath in. And then breath out. Step the right foot forward. Crescent lunge. Inhale as you rise up. Exhale just to stay. Maybe bend a little deeper into the right knee. Just one of these. So inhale. Lift the heart. Pull the elbows back. Exhale. Reach towards the front of the room. Then inhale to open up to your warrior two. Just stay for a moment. Reverse your warrior. Right arm reaches up. Big breath in. On your breath out, windmill that left hand, the back hand, all the way down to the mat. Pop that left heel up, so you're just on those left toes. And then reach the right arm up. Dragonfly twist. Reach out long through the crown of the head. Maybe calm down the breath. And then really plant that left hand down. We're going to go to our side plank. So spin to the outer edge of the left foot. And then either just swing that right leg around, right? Get really light on the right toes. Swing that right leg around and stack the feet. Or heel toe the right foot through center. And then eventually stack the right foot on top of left. Keep reaching the right arm up and keep pressing the hips up towards the ceiling. Shake and move around and maybe fall out. That's okay. And then we'll bring the right forearm down to the mat. Spin to the outer edge of the right foot. Right side forearm plank. Left arm reaches up. Okay, so you can stay right here or start to lift that left knee up. And then perhaps bring your left hand to your left knee. Pull the knee in. And lift the hips up even higher. Whew. And maybe fall out. That's okay, right? So we call it yoga practice. We're practicing things that sometimes we've never done before. And sometimes we're not so good at it at first, and that's okay. Right? Lift the hips, lift the heart. Take a big breath in. Then on your breath out, bring the left forearm down to the mat. So we come to our forearm plank. Again, we're looking for that long straight line. Crown of the head out through the heels. Hips aren't drooping, but they're also not piking up. Press down through the forearms. Take a big breath in. And then on your breath out, just start to tippy toe your feet in to find our dolphin pose. So hips go up like downward facing dog. And then just stay here. Right? If it feels not so comfortable with your hands and forearms parallel, right? A shoulder width apart, then maybe you make prayer hands. Bring your hands together and then just press the forearms down. Take one more big breath in, breath out. Walk the feet back to that forearm plank. Plant the right hand, plant the left hand, plank pose to downward facing dog. Take a big breath in and sigh it out. Okay, we got to do all of that on the other side. Yay! Okay, so sweep that left leg back behind you. Three-legged dog. Then left knee to right elbow. Left foot extends. Press down to lift the hips up. Fall in triangle. Right arm reaches. Then right hand down. Three-legged dog once again. Left leg sweeps back. And then step that left foot forward. Crescent lunge. Inhale as you rise. Exhale just to stay. And then cactus your arms, lift your heart. Take a big breath in. Breath out, reach towards the front of the room. Inhale, open up, warrior two. Exhale, sink a little deeper. Then reverse your warrior, left arm reaches up. Exhale, windmill the right hand all the way down to the mat. Dragonfly twist, right hand down, right heel pops up, left arm reaches up. And then we stay for a few breaths. Keep the belly engaged, keep the legs engaged. So we're not just planting and placing all of our weight into that right hand. Until now. So plant that right hand, roll to the outer edge of the right foot, side plank, lift that left leg, stack the feet, and then press the hand down, lift the hips higher. And then just stay. Feel all the shaking. You can always modify with that right knee down. Lift a little higher. And then forearm side plank. Bring the left forearm down, roll to the outer edge of the left foot. Feet still stack, but then either stay here or lift that right knee up. Perhaps grab the right knee with the right hand and pull it in. Lift the heart more. Lift the hips more. Whew. Maybe fall out, right? Always okay. One more, big breath in. And then breath out, forearm plank. Bring the right forearm down. Stay just a little longer. Keep your belly hugging in. Keep your tailbone lengthening down towards your heels. Press down through the forearms. Lift up. Take a big breath in. And then breath out, dolphin pose. Walk the feet in. Press your head back in between your arms. Look back towards your toes. And you're pressing down into your forearms. So your head isn't, it might be really close, but it shouldn't be resting on the ground here, right? We're pressing away from the ground. Just a little bit longer. Feel the burn in the arms. Take a big breath in. Sigh it out. Walk the feet back to that plank pose, or that forearm plank, I suppose. And then plant the left hand, plant the right hand, plank pose to downward facing dog. Whew. Take a big breath in, and then bring the knees down to the mat. Just take a moment to kind of shake things out. Okay, so shake out the arms, catch your breath perhaps, get a drink of water. And then we're going to work towards our headstand, right? So I'm gonna demo our headstand. We'll practice that for a moment, and then we're gonna see if we can add that as kind of the finale of our flow, okay? So know that, kind of like we were saying earlier, it's a yoga practice. We're practicing. We don't have to nail something the first time we try it. We don't have to nail it ever, really, right? We work towards it. Maybe one day we get it, maybe we don't. So we'll work on our headstand. Okay, so I'm going to teach you just a kind of a more traditional headstand, not our tripod headstand, maybe another day. But so we're going to come into it from our dolphin pose. Okay, so this is a combination of strength, but it's also a lot of flexibility. So notice what seems to be stuck for you or a sticking point for you, so that then that's something that maybe you can work on, right? Okay, so first I'm going to come to my dolphin pose, but instead of having my hands, my forearms and my hands shoulder width apart and parallel, I'm going to instead take my hands together, interlace the fingers, so I kind of make this basket with my hands, right? My head is going to fit into that basket. I'm going to take that basket so that it comes right to kind of the back and slight top of my head, right? So it's not gonna go right on the crown of my head. It's gonna go more towards the back, but still a little bit on the top, okay? So I'm gonna get to it. I'll show you. Here we go. We're gonna come to our dolphin pose. Elbows are still about shoulder width apart, so you can always measure them now to at least get the feel for this. So you'd wrap your hands around opposite elbows to get your measurement, and then place your hands. Interlace your fingers, make that basket. Now, from here, I'll go into that dolphin pose, right? Send the hips up and back. Send my ears in between my biceps. And then from here, I'm just gonna keep walking my feet in until my head can nestle down into that cradle, the cradle of my hands. Keep walking the feet in, keep walking tippy, tippy, tippy toe. Now, when you've got your hips about over your shoulders, press down through your forearms, make sure you're not taking all the weight in your head, and then just pull one heel in towards your bum, and maybe you can lift the other heel towards your bum. And you could just stay here, right into this kind of little seed pose. Right, just stay and breathe, or perhaps start to extend the legs up towards the ceiling. Go nice and slow. And then when you get there, engage the core, engage the glutes, zip your legs together. Hold it for a few breaths. And then when you're ready, we go back the way we came. So we start to tuck the knees back into our chest. And then one foot comes down, the other foot comes down. Bring the knees down. Whew. Shake everything out. Okay. So you can always pause the video and you can kind of work on that as long as you want. Otherwise, we're going to see if we can add in our headstand right after that last pose, after that dolphin pose. So the good news is we already know the rest of the flow, so we're gonna move through it quickly, right? We don't have to hold the poses anymore. Okay, so I'm gonna take a sip of water. Y'all do whatever you need to do to get ready, and then meet me in downward facing dog. Here we go. Final round, final push. Let's do this thing. So, downward facing dog. Then inhale, sweep the right leg back behind you, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to left elbow. Extend the foot out, press into the feet, lift the hips, fall in triangle. Left hand back down, three-legged dog once again, big breath in, breath out, step the right foot forward. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Cactus the arms, lift the heart, big breath in. Breath out, reach towards the front of the room. Then inhale, open up into that warrior two. Reverse your warrior, reach the right arm up. Dragonfly twist, left hand down, right arm reaches up. Side plank, plant the left hand. Stack the right foot on top of the left. Then forearm side plank, right forearm down. Stack the feet once again. Forearm plank, perhaps set your hands into that cradle position already, and then start to walk the feet in for dolphin. Keep going through your dolphin until you get your head into that cradle, and know you can just stay here the whole time, or maybe you find that headstand, right? You could stay in a seed the whole time. Keep pressing down into the forearms. Take your time, you're in no rush, right? But when you're ready, slowly come out of the headstand. Walk the feet back until you can come back to that forearm plank. And then press up to your full plank. Downward facing dog. Send the hips up and back. Whew, good, awesome. So we've got one more side. Inhale, sweep the left leg back behind you, three-legged dog. And then cross the body, knee to elbow, fall in triangle. Step that left foot out, reach the right arm up. Right hand down, once again, three-legged dog, big breath in. And then crescent lunge, step the left foot forward, rise up. Cactus the arms, lift the heart. Then reach towards the front of the room. Open up, warrior two. Reverse your warrior And then Dragonfly Twist. Right hand down, left arm reaches up. Side plank. Left foot stacks on top of the right. Lift the hips. And then forearm side plank. Left forearm down, right arm reaches up. Forearm plank. Make that cradle. And then lift up to your dolphin pose. Right, remember you can always stay in dolphin. Work the strength portion of this as well as the flexibility portion of this. Or bring the head into the cradle. Walk the toes in. And then lift up into your headstand. Take your time. Right, and maybe you did one of the headstands and you're done with them. That's fine. Right, time is what gives us the stamina to stay in headstands longer or do more headstands or whatever. Come back to that forearm plank. Regular plank. Downward facing dog. Take a big breath in and then breath out. Bring your knees down to the mat. Shake out the arms. Good job. Right, whether you got that headstand or you didn't, doesn't really matter. The rest of the class was hard enough. So just kind of catch your breath. Take a few shoulder rolls. And then we'll just stretch them out just a little bit here. So reach that right arm up and then bring the right hand somewhere behind the head, the neck, or the shoulders. Then point that right elbow up towards the ceiling. Bring your left hand to the right elbow. Pull it through center and then press your head back into that arm. Slow down the breath. And then release the arms down. Give them a little bit of a shake. And then just switch sides. Left arm reaches up. It comes behind the head, the neck, or the shoulders. Right hand to that left elbow. Pull it through center and then press the head back. Big stretch through the tricep, through the lats, through your shoulder. Take a big breath in. Breath out. Let go. And then release. Shake things out. We'll come back to that tabletop position, wrists underneath of your shoulders, knees underneath of hips. And then place that left hand down. We'll inhale, sweep the right arm up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, sweep the right arm underneath the left arm. Bring the right shoulder down, the right temple down, thread the needle. And then you can stay right like this, or you can spider tip the left fingertips. And if it feels okay, press that hand down to roll the left shoulder open a little bit more and press a bit more into the twist. Then plant the left hand, press yourself back up to that tabletop position. And we'll do the other side. So inhale, sweep that left arm up. And then sweep it underneath, bring the shoulder down, bring the head down. Perhaps spider tip the right fingertips and press yourself open a little bit more. Then plant the right hand, lift back up, tabletop position. Final pose, puppy pose. So either your hips will stay over top of your knees or maybe ever so slightly behind, but walk the hands forward. And then start to press your heart down towards the mat, and maybe the forehead connects down to the mat as well. If you feel any pinching in your shoulders, you can walk your hands wider, right? You don't have to sit in pain or discomfort. If you are quite flexible in your spine as well as your shoulders and your chest, maybe you look forward and bring your chin down towards the mat. Take one more big breath in, breath out, then rise back up. Sit your hips to your heels. Rest your hands in your lap. Roll your shoulders up and back. Give them a little bit of a wiggle and a shake. And just allow your eyes to close for a moment. Notice your breath again, the rise and fall of your belly and your chest. And just take a moment to appreciate your body for everything that it does for you, everything that it is capable of, right? We tend to be critical of our body, but really, I mean, it's been there for you every single day of your life. And if you are doing this video, it can do a lot more than you think, than we give it credit for. Take a big breath in, breath out. If you have the time for a Shavasana, I encourage you to lay down and take that time, right? Take a little yogi nap. But otherwise, I will see you next time. Thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.